Welcome back to Between the Lines, fueled by Gatorade, voice of the Vikings, Paul Allen, Ben Leber. My name's Gabe Henderson. Vikings victorious today over the Jacksonville Jaguars, 27-24, and it took 5 quarters to do so, but a win is a win, Ben. And when you have 16 penalties combined, 6 turnovers, and 4 missed field goals, I think you can take a win however you can get it.
Credit to them. I mean, obviously they knew that we were going to run the ball, and they stacked the box. They blitzed linebackers. They blitzed safeties like we were trying to do to them as well. So it was sort of this mano-a-mano, and it was this game of attrition. And you throw in some penalties and some sloppy plays and all that stuff. And listen, man, I'm just glad this one's over, honestly, and I'm glad that we got the W.
We got the W. Dalvin Cook, 32 carries, 128 yards. But, you know, it seemed like we had to fight for every single yard we got on the ground at APA.
Well, I have immense respect for Dalvin Cook on many levels, not just the player, but the person. In knowing that Dalvin was shaken up after Trey Boston for Carolina legitimately twisted his ankle and caused him to limp off the field, you know, Dalvin was not 100% today, and he nearly had 200 scrimmage yards off a November where he had the most scrimmage yards in the history of Vikings football. I mean, this is a heck of a football player. Dalvin Cook is so tough, and they needed him badly today. But how about Jordan Brailford? I mean, people watching Between the Lines now, they're like, Jordan, what? 67 with a forced fumble and a fumble recovery in his first game playing because DJ Wanham was scratched. Cam Dantzler, first National Football League interception. Harry the Hitman, he pulled in number 4, 27 for his career. So they did some good things. I'm with Ben. At this stage of the season, man, Gabe, it doesn't matter how you get to that winner's circle. Just find a way to win these games.
Find a way to win these games. Talking about Cameron Dantzler, 4 tackles today, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, 1 interception. Great game by the rookie. But, Ben, I want to talk about the linebacker position. Coming into this game, Eric Kendricks scratched out at the beginning of the game. I guess he tweaked his calf muscle right before the game. So, Todd Davis found out about, 10 seconds before kickoff that he was going to be the starting linebacker. And hats off to him. 11 tackles. Eric Wilson, 11 tackles. Those guys balled out, but stepping up in a big-time moment like that, could you just explain the emotions that's running through a linebacker during that moment?
But first of all, it really shouldn't surprise us. I mean, you look back at Todd Davis's career. He's been a tackling machine. He was when he was with the Denver Broncos. And so he knows how to get to the football. Now it's just a matter of him getting comfortable with the scheme, knowing where he's supposed to be, and that way he's not putting the other guys around him in a bad spot. So it's good to see him that they've educated him. They can trust him to put him in that situation. Now, Eric Wilson, I mean, the guy's had a phenomenal year so far. Then, just like you were saying, gets told, hey, you got to go from the will linebacker position to the Mike linebacker position and nickel. Now you got to make all the calls, and that's a lot to chew on. You know, when you got a guy like Kendricks, that's the green dot linebacker, that's making all the calls, making all the adjustments, and all of a sudden, just before the game, hey, guess what? That's you. The defense is going to ride on you to make all these adjustments. And so, again, testament to him to keeping his head in the game. You know, he's got to prepare and study all week long as if he could be that guy, and it just so happened that he was that guy moments before the game.
And, Ben, in no way are we going to shortchange the omission of Eric Kendricks. In fact, I don't want to over-glorify it either, but it's massive. Yep. I mean, to lose the heart and soul of your defense right in front of the game, pre-game warm-ups, meaning Wilson didn't run any middle during practice, Davis probably didn't get a lot of reps with the ones, and then, of course, because this is how the NFL works, Doug Marrone, Mike Glennon, James O'Shaughnessy, first play of the game, they went at the Kendrick spot, and they got a long gain for a first down. So it's hard to win in the NFL, but, Ben, when you lose somebody right in front of the game like that, who's led the team in tackles for 5 years, I mean, that is an immense omission right at game time.
For sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, it really is. You look at the way they attacked us, not just on the first play, but I believe the tight ends together had 6 catches in the first half. And so they really targeted that middle of the field. And then what happened in the second half? We saw a little bit more of Harrison Smith in the single tight end sets line up over the tight end, at least provide some body presence if he wasn't taking him man-to-man. And then we saw a lot more blitzing as well. So good adjustment overall by the defense in the second half.
Speaking of those adjustments, the Vikings had given up 224 first-half yards. And before the last drive of the second half, they had only given up 59 total yards in that second half. So hats off to Mike Zimmer, Adam Zimmer, all the defensive coaches for making those adjustments. But I want to talk about this sack situation, PA. Coming into this game, the Jacksonville Jaguars had 11 sacks all year. The Vikings had 1 sack in the past 3 games. Both teams get 3 sacks today. What stood out to you about that stat?
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to sound like Coach Allen here, but and Ben knows this. I mean, until you watch it back and you kind of guess if it was the offensive lineman, was it a running back? I have no idea. I just know the Jags had 11 sacks into the game, and they were all over the place. How about Cousins?
Yeah.
I mean, Kirk Cousins today with those 3 TDs. I don't think that pick six was Kirk's fault. I'm guessing at that because Dalvin didn't turn around. But Cousins was getting bludgeoned in the third quarter and delivering passes and hanging in the pocket. So the maturation of the quarterback with the nuance to help you win playoff games, it continued today. I was very impressed with Kirk.
Very impressed with Kirk for sure. But here we are, 6-6. We are 500, and we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers up next. So Ben, what can we do moving forward?
Well, we certainly have to play cleaner up front, and I will echo the same thing that PA is saying, that I don't think we give enough credit to Cousins for his durability, and he's getting smashed a lot of times, even if on just rollouts where he's exposed and it's nobody's fault but just the play call itself, he's going to get hit. And we never see on any injury report, he's got a bum shoulder. Oh, his elbow's a little nicked up. Oh, his hand's nicked up. There's never really a limp. So he's doing something right, taking care of his body. He's extremely durable. But going into to next week, I got to see a little bit more enthusiasm out of Dalvin Cook. I know he had almost 180 yards total offense, but it looked like a really disinterested 180 yards, in my opinion. He wasn't breaking the tackles that he normally breaks. His body language was poor, and our offensive line wasn't doing their job in the pass rush. So we have to shore up those areas and get everybody's best next week.
Got to get everybody's best. Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming off a bye week. PA, what your final thoughts on this upcoming game?
Well, with the Bucs, it's good times, bad times, because Zimmer generally feasts on quarterbacks who don't move, and Tom Brady doesn't move. But the kryptonite for Tom is a middle rush, specifically from the defensive tackles, and that's just been problematic this year for the Vikings. Before we leave, Gabe and Ben, it behooves us to recognize that I don't care what Justin Herbert does today or does anywhere in the near future. I know what we have here. Justin Jefferson is the best offensive rookie in the National Football League. He has 5 games at 100 yards or more receiving. And that breaks a record set in '98 by Hall of Famer, somebody called Randy Moss. You start breaking Randy Moss records, then you are the offensive rookie of the year. So, hey, Herbert, terrific season. James Robinson and Antonio Gibson with Washington. That's all good, man, but we know what we have here. And this is the best offensive rookie in the NFL. His name is Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson, and he is one of 4 rookies to ever have 1,000 yards in the first 12 games of his career. So hats off to him. We're going to need another big performance for him next week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Guys, fourth quarter now, and we got to get every win from here on out. So, Ben, PA, let's get it. This is Between the Lines, fueled by Gatorade.
Let's get it.